Agent here with a 20-minute long match, almost 20 minutes. And it was a really good fight. We probably actually would have lost had it not been for the enemy team missing one player. It was 7v8, but they had a huge advantage in air. They had a lot of aircraft, and we're probably going to talk about a lot of different things in this video and why I do some things and why they do some things and mistakes and things we did right. So settle in for a good long match. This was a really good match. I enjoyed every minute of it. The first thing I usually do on this map, it doesn't matter which side of the map I get, I go to this tower and I'm almost always alone. I think that's a mistake on our team's part, is that nobody else came to this tower with me, and I can't really cap it if I've got to fight somebody, because it's medium close quarters, and I'm a rail cruiser, so I will have a very difficult time fighting anything in there, and I'm probably going to lose. So I'm not going to push up in there. Instead, I'm going to turn my attention to the aircraft, and I'm going to start trying to pop his guns and rotor blades and all his functional parts off. And see, he retreats. He doesn't want to get killed. So this guy here is a medic, and he does, or she, I don't know who it is, but they do a spectacular job of keeping their team healed. Words can't really describe how effective this player is, especially in that build. That build is really tough too, and it's fast and it can move erratically. I have a hard time hitting it later in the match, and it just tanks rail after rail after rail. Like it shrugs them off, and look how he's still got all of his movement. So it's a really good build. I don't know if it's a CRF bot or not. I don't see that particular bot very often. I see many variations of it, so I don't know if they made that themselves or if they modified a CRF robot or what, but whatever that thing is, it is really tough, and it tanks the shit out of rails. And these are not rail erasers. These are rail decimators. They're the second to top tier, and the reason I use these is because I can put out not more damage but more sustained fire, and it's less penalizing when you miss. Any railer, no matter how good you are, you're going to miss some shots, some more than others. I wind up missing quite a few shots later in the match, partially due to this weird input lag that rails seem to have, and it's not all the time. It's like you can't really guess the amount of input lag you're going to have. Like I've been wanting to do a video on this, is I'll click the mouse button and the rail doesn't fire right away. And it's not because it's reloading. It'll do it if I haven't shot in a while. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a weird input lag. They don't always respond when you want them to. So a lot of times when I'm clicking, the railgun isn't firing even though it should. It's not like it's on cooldown. So anyway, we're going to go back to the match. That thing is also pretty tough. It's not nearly as tough as the one I was shooting. As you can see, I'm targeting those mega weapons again. Those things in the air or on mechs are incredibly devastating, and you really, really need to focus on getting rid of those things. Even if they're not shooting at you, you need to help your team out and focus those things down. Just shoot their weapons off, and you can turn your attention to something else in most cases, like I'm doing here. I shot his weapons off. I'm not going to be able to kill him, so I turn my attention to one of the enemies, and typically, and I always stress this, is to aim for enemies' guns and functional parts, like movement parts especially. But with that drone, the way he moves is I have an incredibly difficult time hitting his actual weapons, so I don't really go for that. I just try to deal a lot of damage to him and get them to retreat, take cover, or otherwise leave my team or me alone. Again, we're trying to remove that mega weapon. Those are really big targets. They can be difficult to hit on distant aircraft that are moving fast, but they're still huge targets. So those llamas and mega SMGs, those are your main targets to shoot off. A lot of people are using those right now because they're super effective. There's our medic again. They're diving down, and I'm not going to be able to shoot him, so I'm going to try to bore a hole into this Tesseract copter hybrid and try to hit his thrusters, which I did. But as you can see, once you hit their thrusters, it's not going to kill all of them. it's not going to remove all of their thrusters, and then they get this really crazy erratic movement, which is what makes them so hard to kill, is that they're just hard to hit. All the guy behind the controls has to do is hold like D or A or W or whatever thrusters he has left, and just the weight and the physics of the robot itself are just going to make it move so crazy that you're going to have a really hard time hitting it. So I tend to ignore them after that. Sometimes I'll try to get the kill just to get them off the field for a while, because they are very effective builds. They're very mobile, and they can be very tough. So I'm hitting this one over and over again just to drive them back in the base. I should be shooting the medic, but if I shoot the medic is going to get the other guy healed all the way up. I know the medic's tough at this point, so I just want to drive him back, and that's why I kept shooting the guy even though he was being healed. So now I'm going to try and see what the medic does. If I can even hit him. I'm having a really difficult time hitting him. I don't know if you could tell how fast and erratically he was flying, but they're incredibly difficult to hit with anything other than basically arrow flak. Even rails, they can be very, very hard to hit, because by the time you've clicked your mouse button to fire, they've already changed their direction and they're headed somewhere else. It's almost like the rest of the physics of the game do not apply to those things. I don't know. Probably exaggerating a little bit, but they are incredibly difficult to hit. So we're going to turn our attention to what's going on right behind us. As a railer, you want to be hanging far back. You don't want to be right up in the fight. You don't want to be pissing off enemies right in your face. We had some teammates there, so I turned around and started shooting at them. In most cases, they're going to turn around and just lay into you with plasma or SMG or whatever. And with rails, the guns are so big that you're not going to have a lot of redundancy unless you have a really weak bot. So you really need to watch getting hit by weapons. You need to practice the art of avoiding being shot and not just tanking the shots. I do like to build tough rail cruisers and tanks so that I can escape and not have to go through a respawn counter, especially at high overclock levels. But I don't have a lot of redundancy in trade for that. I have 6 guns on here, and that is what's needed for the max fire rate. And I'm not going to complain about that. I don't want to see mechs out there with 4 rails on stalks getting the max fire rate from rails as well as SMG and plasma, because that's way too much. This game isn't really well balanced right now. If you're a newer player or you're not very experienced, I actually don't suggest using cruisers or tanks right now. Copters, those drones, specifically the Tesseract variation of them, and mech legs right now are the best builds to use because they have the most advantages over everything else. I don't see a whole lot of tanks and cruisers these days, but I like to use them. I've been using them since the game came out, along with all the other bot types except for mech legs. I will not use those because everyone else uses them, and I will not lower myself to those standards. Some of the worst players in the game use mech legs, and some of the guys that are such tryhards that they will quit the match if they are not going to win, and they will often alt F4 the game if they even are threatened by being destroyed. They'll just quit out of the game and start over because they cannot take losing. Those are the types of people that I see using mech legs, along with your normal players who are just inexperienced or looking for an easy to build bot type. So again, we're shooting these drones. There's 3 of them in this match. There's some copters. There's plenty of aircraft to keep me busy. Most of their team is air. They do have a couple ground bots. They have a walker I don't see very much, and they have a mech that I see a few times but not very often. I see these aircraft a lot more, and that's where their efficiency comes in, is that they can get around the map so much faster. They can escape damage, they can escape death, they can cap towers better than anything else. Mobility kind of right now is king in this game, which is another reason why the cruisers and tanks just aren't that good, unless you've got a blink, and then maybe they're acceptable. But it's because mobility is king. Evading damage is better than tanking damage, because you're going to lose your guns before you're dead, and you're still useless to the team. It's going to take the enemy longer to kill you. but that it could actually be detrimental to your own performance because you no longer have weapons and you can't do anything to anybody, and you're just sitting there waiting to die because it takes so long. So I don't really think there's a point in building super tanky, but I do like to build tough enough to where I can tank some hits, back into cover, and then get healed up and go back out and fight without having to wait on a respawn.
Shield has been deactivated. Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
I'm whipping a bunch of shots here, and it's because
your bottom fusion tower is under attack. Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
Difficult to hit.
Your bottom fusion tower is under attack. The bottom fusion tower has been captured. The middle fusion tower has been captured. You no longer have a clock cycle booster.
Especially in player. I've been using rails since 2014. I don't like sniping in other games. It's not my thing.
Your team has captured the middle fusion tower. Clock cycle booster activated.
By far my least favorite class. What I did play of it was SMG.
Your top fusion tower is under attack.
TF2 I snipe a little bit, but again, it's not my preferred play style. However, in Robocraft, for whatever reason, I like those. I think it's because they're challenged. Same reason I use tanks and cruisers is that it's much more of a challenge to use these downtrodden, neglected movement types than it is.
Your team has captured the bottom fusion tower. Your enemy's fusion shield has been deactivated. Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
Ability to escape. And then mechs, they're so easy, they pose no building challenge to me at all either. And plus I like to have really cool tanks and cruisers. I like to do like a sci-fi style thing, sometimes realistic.
Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
Play any way you want. I'm not going to look down on you unless you're one of those guys who wants to surrender. Every time it's not steamroll, players who always quits when things get hard or you're about to lose. Then I will look down on you and you will get no respect because you're scum. The rest of the community is going to do the same thing. All the
your bottom fusion tower is under attack.
I'm not going to name names, but or clans, but we know who you are if you play this game and make a name for yourself.
The bottom fusion tower has been captured.
All of you, you're a cancerous player. You probably know
your team has captured the middle fusion tower. Clock cycle activated.
Probably going to die here. Try to shoot this rotor blade off and bring him down. Two guys on there. Had no chance to escape. My handling was compromised, and I figured I was instead of wasting my time.
Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
A lot of times I actually won't try to escape if I know they're going to kill me, because I just want to get it over with. Like I was saying earlier, it's detrimental to your own in-game performance if you live longer than you really should. If you're sitting there tanking damage, but you can't actually accomplish anything, and it takes the enemy like 10 seconds to kill you, your respawn time might as well have 10 seconds.
Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
You're not able to accomplish anything, and you're just waiting to even activate the respawn. So you don't want to be too tanky.
Your middle fusion tower is under attack.
The middle fusion tower has been captured.
The enemy
we're going to try to take him out.
I'm nearly destroyed.
Again here.
Your bottom fusion tower is under attack.
Loss of weight makes it very difficult to hit.
The bottom fusion tower has been captured. You no longer have a clock cycle booster.
Again. I've got targets everywhere. I'm pretty much laying out constant stream of fire at every opportunity. I'm going to ignore that mech because they got so many airplanes. At this very moment, I notice this tower is unguarded, and I can go ahead and take it really early. That's going to help us out.
Captured the
It's
bottom
respawn
fusion tower.
like the 3 or 4
Clock
guys
cycle booster activated.
So I want to put them back in the fight. Right now, nobody else was on that tower, so I thought, hey, this is going to be a good move. I need to respawn my allies.
Your bottom fusion tower is under attack.
Get locked into a thing where there's only half the team playing at a time because the rest of us play on battlegrounds.
Your bottom
That is
fusion
a
tower
thing a lot of
is
people
under
don't
attack.
think about when they're playing this game. is respawning your allies. Those towers are really, really important, and I will sacrifice myself knowing I'm going to die taking a tower, especially if I'm not doing well in the
Your
match.
bottom fusion tower is
I
under
will
attack.
gladly go sacrifice myself if I can respawn 2
Your
allies.
plutonium reactor is under attack.
And that's what we did here. We had 3
Your
or 4
team has
dead guys.
captured the middle fusion tower. Your enemy's fusion shield has been deactivated.
I do play a little bit
bottom
campy,
fusion tower is
how
under
you have
attack.
to play rail. You cannot
bottom
go
fusion
toe-to-toe
tower has
with
been
bots. You
captured.
cannot be wiping
Your
their
plutonium
face.
reactor is under
You
attack.
have to hang back, which lends to a campy
Your
play.
plutonium reactor is under attack.
It's the way it is, and you're going to get a lot of hate. I don't really feel like I'm actually
plutonium
camping
reactor
because
is
I
under
move
attack.
around different points of the map and flights around most of the time.
Your team has captured the bottom fusion
Try
tower.
not to sit in one
Your
spot and
enemy's
go cap
fusion
towers
shield
when I
has
can
been
sneak out and do
deactivated.
it. But I do remain usually no further than the midpoint of the map, playing rail until our team has pushed forward enough
Your
for
top
me to
fusion
not be
tower is
up.
under attack.
You've got to be hanging back.
Spotted.
Rail, if you find yourself as a rail on the front lines of the battle, either your team's done something wrong and they're not moving up when they should, or you have done something wrong and you moved up long before you.
Your bottom fusion tower is under attack.
The main reason we actually turned around there was because I was going to lose my wheels. And I do have steering skis in the front connected
Your
to the
middle
walls,
fusion tower
but
is
those
under
walls
attack.
would probably
Your
destroy
bottom
the
fusion
several-
tower is under attack.
So I turned
The
around
middle
and
fusion
there's
tower has been captured.
a drone there, so I
Your
decided to
bottom
try to kill
fusion
him
tower
and
is
heal up.
under attack.
And
Spotted.
now we're facing the right direction again. And we're going to start trying to defend this tower. Another thing rails are really good at is area
Bottom
denial.
fusion
How
tower has been captured.
you've got a vantage point on the tower. You can shoot the enemy's weapons off. You're defending that tower without actually having to kill the bot. Excuse me, like the other players do. All you have to do is shoot the
Reactor is
weapons
under
off
attack.
from the tower. They'll usually retreat. You can't do anything. There's
Your
no
top
point in them
fusion
sitting there
tower
to
is
die.
under
And
attack.
if they don't retreat, then you can start moving
Your plutonium reactor is under
their
attack.
movement parts.
Spotted.
I don't suggest doing this all the time, but
captured.
sometimes you can just ping them down then
Fusion
so you
shield
don't
has
heal.
been deactivated.
Not waste your shots of killing them.
Your plutonium reactor
Allies
is
can
under
come in and
attack.
finish the job. These kills don't mean a whole
Your
lot.
team has captured the middle fusion tower.
Overall damage dealt,
Your
healing,
fusion shield is now
capturing the
active.
towers will really give you a good score. You don't need to worry about getting the kills. You do need to take enemies off the battlefield as much as you can, but you don't have to worry about it as far as your score goes.
Your
In
middle
fact, you don't
fusion
even
tower
really
is
think
under
about your
attack.
score. Just play to win, and you'll get good crates. Play to win, play the objectives, and you'll do just fine. If you're thinking about
Your
score
middle
while you're
fusion
playing the
tower is
game,
under attack.
you're playing it wrong, you're playing it to grind, and you're probably going to find yourself
The middle
mad
fusion
because
tower has been
you
captured.
melt, and probably
fusion
actually
shield
losing
has been
matches because you're not
deactivated.
being a team player. You can have the highest score in the whole game by far, even
Your
with the
plutonium
enemy
reactor
team
is under
winning
attack.
and getting double score, and you can still lose because all you're doing is
Your team has captured the top fusion tower.
right now.
Fusion shield is now active.
This is a decision I made.
Your top
I'm going to
fusion
rush their
tower
base.
is
I'm
under
going to
attack.
try to take care of
Your team has captured
the
the
last
bottom
three
fusion
crystals
tower.
and silence.
Clock cycle
They've
booster
got a guy
activated.
defending it. And I was spotted on the tower. I should have stopped. I thought I could get in
Fusion
here.
tower is
One
under
good rail
attack.
shot would remove them.
The top fusion
For
tower
whatever
has been
reason, the
captured.
damage didn't travel
You
like
no
it
longer
should
have your clock cycle
penetratively with the
booster.
rail, and it left
Your
one
bottom
crystal.
fusion tower is
In
under
chat
attack.
right now, tell the team
Bottom
we got
fusion
one
tower
crystal
has
left.
been captured.
A good team right now, and even
deactivated.
before this, would not
Player
have
is
been
disconnected.
worrying about
Your
towers.
respawn times
What
have
we
been
would have done,
reduced. Your
in
team
my
has
opinion, is a
captured the
good
middle
team.
fusion
It's a
tower.
cohesive team.
Your
Say we
fusion
were all in
shield
a
is
platoon
now
somehow.
active.
I know you can't have any players.
Your
in a
plutonium
platoon. Say
reactor
we
is under
were-
attack.
We would rush their base as a team because that one copter
Your middle
did
fusion
not
tower is
stop
under
us
attack.
from destroying
Spotted.
3 crystals.
Your
on the
plutonium
tower.
reactor is
I'm
under
gonna drive
attack.
right past this tower.
Your
Towers
plutonium
don't
crystal
matter
is
anymore.
nearly destroyed.
We're about to lose our shields.
The middle
totally
fusion tower has
anyway.
been captured.
We do have 3 allies
Your
dead.
fusion
I'm
shield
confident
has
that I
been
can get in this
deactivated.
base and keep
Your
at least
plutonium
one rail,
reactor is
even
under
under
attack.
assault, and the match just like I did. Luckily, there was nobody camping there. I mean, we were close to losing that match, so I'd like to think due to my actions, we won it. So we did number 2 damage, and our score wasn't as good as it could have been, but doing a lot of damage helped us win the match, so I'm happy with that. Hope you enjoyed the video.